Remember when you could buy a smartphone without selling a kidney? Those days are gone thanks to trade wars. That new TV you want? More expensive. Your morning coffee? Yep, pricier too. Trade wars are like a bad hangover. We all end up paying for it. Remember when politicians promised these trade wars would be easy to win? Turns out not so much. In fact, they're more like economic boomerangs, hitting everyone in the process. Think about it. When countries slap tariffs on each other's goods, it's like adding a tax to everything we buy. Suddenly that cheap t-shirt from overseas costs more, and your favorite imported beer becomes a luxury. The worst part? These trade wars were supposed to protect jobs, but they're actually killing them. More on that later. So, how did we get here? Buckle up because it's about to get messy. Back in 2025, the US, under former President Trump, decided to wage a trade war on multiple fronts. First, they hit China with tariffs, claiming unfair trade practices. Then, they went after their neighbors, Canada and Mexico, slapping tariffs on everything from cars to avocados. The goal, according to Trump, it was to bring back manufacturing jobs to America and reduce the trade deficit. But economists warned this strategy would backfire, leading to higher prices and economic instability. Surprise, surprise, the economists were right. The Trump administration's America First trade policy was all about putting American jobs and businesses ahead of everyone else's. The problem is, in a globalized economy, you can't just throw up walls without consequences. The tariffs on Chinese goods, for example, were supposed to hurt China more than the US. The idea was to force China to change its trade practices and give American companies a leg up. But here's the thing, China is a major economic powerhouse. They weren't just going to roll over and take it. China bites back. When the United States imposed tariffs, China retaliated with tariffs of their own. They targeted key American exports like soybeans, pork, and automobiles. Suddenly, American farmers and manufacturers found themselves shut out of one of their biggest markets. Prices for their goods plummeted, and jobs were lost. But China didn't stop there. They also started looking for other trading partners, reducing their reliance on the United States. This meant that even if the trade war ended, American businesses would still be playing catch-up. Global trade, a tangled web. The trade war between the United States and China sent shockwaves through the global economy. Canada and Mexico, caught in the crossfire, retaliated with tariffs of their own. Supply chains, which are the networks that connect businesses around the world, were thrown into chaos. Companies that relied on parts or materials from multiple countries suddenly faced delays and increased costs. The trade war also led to a surge in protectionism, with countries becoming more focused on protecting their own industries, even at the expense of global trade. This us versus them mentality made it harder for countries to cooperate on issues like climate change and economic development. Can we learn from this? So, what did we learn from this whole trade war fiasco? Well, for starters, trade wars are not easy to win. In fact, they're more like a lose-lose situation for everyone involved. The tariffs imposed during the trade war led to higher prices for consumers, job losses in key industries, and increased economic uncertainty. They also damaged relationships between countries and made it harder to address global challenges. The trade war highlighted the interconnectedness of the global economy. When one country throws a tantrum, everyone feels the impact. It's a reminder that we need to work together to solve problems, not resort to protectionism and isolationism. The question is, have we learned our lesson, or are we doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past? The trade wars didn't just affect the countries directly involved. They sent ripples across the globe. European markets saw increased prices and developing nations faced new challenges in accessing essential goods. The interconnected nature of global trade means that when two giants clash, everyone feels the tremors. This chapter explores how different regions adapted and the long-term impacts on global trade dynamics. From disrupted supply chains in Asia to economic instability in Africa, the consequences were felt far and wide. Even small businesses in distant corners of the world had to adjust to new realities. The global ripple effect serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance that sustains our world's economy. It's a call to action for global cooperation and understanding, ensuring that future policies consider not just national interests but the well-being of the entire planet. Beyond the economic statistics, trade wars have a human cost. Families lost their livelihoods, communities faced economic downturns, and the uncertainty took a toll on mental health. This chapter delves into the personal stories of those affected, highlighting the resilience and challenges faced by individuals in the wake of economic policies. We start with Maria, a single mother in Texas, who lost her job when the local factory shut down due to increased tariffs. Struggling to make ends meet, Maria's story is one of perseverance and the harsh realities faced by many like her. Across the globe in India, Rajesh, a small-scale farmer, saw his income plummet when the cost of farming equipment soared. His tale underscores how interconnected our world truly is, and how decisions made thousands of miles away can devastate lives. Then there's the story of Jane, a mental health counselor in the UK, who witnessed a surge in patients dealing with anxiety and depression linked to economic instability. Her insights shed light on the often overlooked psychological toll of global trade policies. These personal narratives remind us that behind every policy, every economic shift, are real people with real lives. The human cost serves as a poignant reminder of the need for empathy and thoughtful consideration in policymaking. As we move forward, it's crucial to learn from the past. Trade policies need to be crafted with a deep understanding of global interdependencies. Cooperation, rather than confrontation, should be the guiding principle. This chapter discusses potential pathways for future trade policies, emphasizing the importance of collaboration and mutual benefit in a globalized world. Imagine a world where nations work together, utilizing their strengths to complement each other, where the focus shifts from winning at the expense of others to thriving collectively. Experts suggest that by fostering partnerships, sharing technology, and supporting each other through economic challenges, we can create a more stable and prosperous global economy. This vision requires a commitment to dialogue, transparency, and empathy. Policymakers must prioritize the well-being of people, not just the numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about building a future where economic policies are designed to uplift everyone, ensuring that no one is left behind. The lessons learned from past trade wars highlight the need for a new approach, one that looks beyond borders and sees the world as an interconnected community. The road ahead is not without challenges, but with a shared vision and collaborative spirit, a brighter future is within reach. So, as we look forward, let's remember the human stories, the economic ripple effects, and the power of unity. Together, we can forge a path towards a more equitable and resilient global economy.